Welcome to a Create and Sip DIY. I've got my sips I'm about to create. So here, cheers to all of you other creators that are following along. So I love this idea because it's very nice and elegant. It's got this nice frame, but it's very utilizable for making with the pegboard. You can put the little peg hooks on here and you can hang anything you want. So you could use it in your crafting studio to hang tools, utensils and such, or it's like I'm using it here for display in my studio to sell different items that I have to add on to folks' projects. So I've had a couple of these gold frames. I'm going to show you a process that I went through to make this. It's very simple and easy. You could go out and make one yourself with just a few dollars and a little bit of time. So I'm going to set this to the side, and I went ahead and pre-cut, measured out what I've got for the pegboard here. So I cut this down, yeah, not by hand, power tool. But it is to fit the inside here. So this still has the glass in it. I mean, I could use it to put an actual painting in, but I wouldn't get as much use out of it if it was just a painting inside of a piece of frame here. So to get the back of it off here, it's got these little tabs here. They work fine for what we've got going on. If things were a little heavier, we could staple in here later. Like to use a flathead screwdriver to go in and lift those up a little bit. That way you can get your thumb underneath there. If you've got a butter knife, that works really good too. And then once we get these up, we're going to push them as far back to the back or against their edge as we can. So I'm going to pluck this out. If you've got the glass too, you do want to be cautious with that. So I did end up using this to make my stencil and cut when I made the other one. I was so happy with it. I was like, this is an easy project. I'll just do it real quick as a video to show everyone else. So you can use this to mark and cut out your pegboard. If you use corkboard in on here too. If you wanted to line it with corkboard, and you can tack some things in through there, soft plywood, something you could get some thumbtacks in. So I've got that. I'm going to pull the inside paper out, and then you have this nice mat board in through there with that beveled edge. So we'll set that aside for some other things. So I've got the glass here too, and I'm just going to pop that out. Sometimes it's a little tight. Yeah, he's just done it so often that he just made good quick work out of it. Alright, so I've got that. Be careful with those edges, they're sharp. So I haven't taken off my things here yet, because for this next use of this one, I'm not sure the orientation that I will want for. So I will decide that later. So I've got the back on this taken off. I've got the glass taken out. I've got my pegboard. Let's double check, make sure that fits in there nicely. Very nice, very nice. So that's that like that. I mean, you could squeeze those tabs back on and have that like so, but it looks all right. I'm gonna go with the black like I did on that other one. And what it is actually is spray blackboard paint out of a spray can. But that's what I used on that one. That's what I use on this one. I like that idea because if I do end up using it for display to sell, I can always mark across through there like I did if that one's selling the little dog tail leash holders for people's projects to use. So I'm going to go and give this a quick coat with some stuff and we'll let that dry. So I will see you all when I bring this back in to put together, and we'll wrap it all up from there, and then you can make your own and start using it to display, hang, store, whatever you may need. All right. Okay, so I'm outside. You definitely want to use spray paint in a well ventilated area. So I'm out on my loading dock where I'm outside. I am using Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint. Works really nice for spray painting this, shaking it all up. Now as you get in, you've got those holes, so I would go at it from a couple different directions. As you spray it, holding it back, don't expect that first spray through to give perfect coat. Give that multiple coats so you can see where I sprayed that last one. So we're gonna give that a quick spray down real quick. So there we go. Got everything coated. Yeah, that looks great. I'm gonna let that dry, maybe give it a second coat, and then we'll go in and we'll put it in the frame. Alright, so welcome back. I've got my frame with the backing that I've taken off with the tabs on the back. I've got my pegboard that I spray painted with the chalkboard paint. I didn't do the back side. You can do the back side if you want. I just let the one side dry. Pegboards, flathead screwdriver that I'll be using for the tabs. I've got my pegboard tool here that I'll be using to store stuff, chalk for the chalk paint, and of course the sips. So we're going to create and sip. Okay, next step is super easy. I mean, this has not been too difficult so far. We're going to try not to make it more difficult than it already has been. I've got this. I'm going to flip it over so that the back side goes through there. And if you want to flip it over, double check it. Ooh. And from here, you can use your fingers to pry these over. If you've got the finger strength, you can use the flathead screwdriver. I had mentioned butter knife when prying them up, so you can use anything that's strong enough. Alright, so those are down. They don't have to be like super like crammed down onto the surface there. If you plan on hanging anything heavy on the back side, you can do some different things. You use staples. You could run a small screw up in there, something to hold this, make it a little bit more firm and steady. But this is what we've got here. We've got ourselves a nice black surface there. I like that because anything I put on there is going to contrast it. And I go across that way. Should be able to. Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean that's not perfect down there. Come on now. Like so. And I can hang my tools down in through there and chalk paint so I can create and set. Alright, so that wasn't too difficult. I hope you had fun. Cheers. Here's to more sipping and creating.